Calvin Otieno is one of the few friends I've made in campus since I was a first year. And it's been an honor to work with him in terms of politics, in friendship, and it has been fruitful.
Calvin is a kind of a man ready to stand with you when there's no one who can stand with you.
I will remember him as a courageous leader, a man who brought a lot of reform in our institution.
He's a good man, very focused, he's a go-getter.
That is, I think, is an history in itself, because Calvin is the only leader in Tumkwale who has been the president when he's in Fakia.
As students, majorly we are consumers, depending on parents to fend ourselves. This man could knock every influential leader, their officers, to make sure that he gets something, a task for the students.
He's a schemer, and he can assess something and see the outcome before even you decide on what to say.
Calvin is someone very real. He's a straight man and a good leader. He convinced almost 80% of the students.
Remain to be the person we have known you. You are an incredible man. We wish you all the best of luck. You will be an asset to future leaders.
If you could begin telling me who is Calvin and what is it? What do you understand by a campus governor? And what are the duties that entails the campus governor?
Thank you, Gilbert. First, thank you for having me. My name is Kevin Otieno. I'm the governor at Technical University of Mombasa, Kwale campus. I've been a governor for 2 years. I started in 2021. I was actually sworn in 2021, 16th February. Then I've been serving. I took my second oath in November last year. And now a satellite campus governor is more of a student chair, but in a satellite campus level. So the duties of chairperson when it comes to a university like main campus, for example, two main, is exactly what I do, but I do it at a satellite campus level. So it has got a lot to do with student finance, and even the roles of Secretary General. Now that you don't have a Secretary General in a satellite campus, that forms the basis of what we do. I do personally, yeah.
And, do you have a vice governor or a running mate, and what are some of the criteria? What entails in coming up with a vice governor?
One thing, I have a deputy governor. We call them deputies. I have a deputy governor, and according to our constitution, the TUMSA constitution, it provides that your running mate, or rather your deputy, should be somebody of the opposite gender, you see. So I've worked with two deputies, both are ladies, to be precise. And when it comes to choosing deputy, you have to consider a lot. First, for example, when I was choosing my first deputy, regardless of the fact that I happen to have worked with a deputy who is a fourth year when I was in third year, but I had to to put a lot of considerations in place. First of all, our campus politics is kind of tribal based. You have to get endorsement by your community. So apparently this lady was a Kikuyu lady who got a massive support from the Gema as a community, and after she got endorsed, she wasn't interested first of all to vie as a deputy governor. But after getting that massive support from the community, and I being endorsed by my community in my first pick, we decided to form a pact, and I think that was actually the basis of our marriage. And equally beyond the endorsement and stuff, I look at the potentiality, and you have to consider a lot. in terms of, potentiality, the reputation of a person, in as far as, student leadership is concerned, and even our brand to the general public. So that was my first deputy. Secondly, when now I was going to the ballot for the second time, I decided to work with a different community. As you understand, I'm a politician, and politics being dynamic, each and every time I come to the game, I come with a different plan. So when I came to the ballot for the second time, I decided to consider to work with the lawyer community. And I picked a lady who apparently that time she was in her second year. Because of her potentiality and, willingness to serve, brought her on board, worked on a plan, and that is how I formed the park. And she's been my deputy from, November last year to date. Yeah.
Okay, you say you've been a governor for 2 terms.
Yeah.
The first time you were governor was you were in 3rd year.
Yeah.
And then this time again you went to the ballot for the 2nd time.
Yeah, sure.
And for the 2 times you've been a governor, you've worked with 2 different deputy governors.
Yeah.
But I want to understand what really motivated you to go for this position of a campus governor, and how ready were you to work with someone who was in 4th year as your deputy governor? What was your motivation?
First of all, I'll talk about, that is a good question. First of all, when you picture the first deputy, now that she was my senior and stuff. And one thing I want to bring to the picture, maybe that is not known. Even my first sports and entertainment secretary was a 4th year, you see. I think I have a very good chemistry with how to engage people. And when I was in 1st year, I invested a lot of my time making friendship with the people who are ahead of me in terms of class. And I think that was very key when it came to my first time of vying. You remember, it was a 9-delegate system, and I fetched 6 delegates out of 9. That was a thorough competition, you see. And I was competing, somebody was in 3rd year, progressing to 4th year. And he managed to win, to fetch 3 delegates out of 9, and I got 6. Look, I think first of all, I'll invest a lot of my reasoning on my chemistry with the people, and I never looked at it in terms of the seniority, but I looked at it on the terms of workability. Can we work together? And I think that formed my basis of working for 4 years, and that is something I don't regret up to date.
Okay, and having worked as a governor for 2 terms, this means that the students trusted in you so much,
Yeah.
and so into it that it was fit to elect you even for the 2nd time.
Yeah.
But as a governor for the 2nd time, how would you compare and contrast your leadership with your predecessors? How different will you be from the previous governors?
To be fair enough, I want to talk about the guy I succeeded my predecessor, the immediate one. I succeeded somebody who had been a class representative for 2 years, you see. And there is a tendency and a misunderstanding as to what a campus governor is supposed to do, vis-a-vis what a class rep is supposed to do, you see. So when I succeeded him, this is a guy who had been a class rep before for 2 years. And his kind of leadership was really kind of continuity of what he's been doing before, you see. But that is not what is stipulated in our constitution. When you read our constitution so well, all that we do is clearly enshrined. And a class rep has got a duty and a role. The same applies to faculty representative, the same applies to deputy governor, to even finance secretaries in Upper Tumsa, and even to campus governor. So I was a strict, adhere of the rule of law, and I follow strictly what it takes to be, what it takes to be a campus governor. So I feel what I've not done is I've never thought of getting into a role which is not mine, but I do the coordination. So I feel he was kind of continuing, with the role he had been holding and the position he had been holding for 2 years. For example, now, a governor is not supposed to confirm a class, you see, but a class rep is supposed to confirm a class because that is his role.
That's his role, yeah.
And they are answerable to the faculty representatives. So I wouldn't lie that now I'm a governor and I want to confirm classes to my class members, you see. I coordinate departments, I coordinate dockets, you see. That is why, since I started my leadership, I do what is governance. I've never gone to the docket of sports and entertainment and tell them that now this is what I want to do. I think that is what makes the difference. The governor who was there when I was in first year equally did what it takes to be a campus governor. This is somebody who, you know, understood his role perfectly, and I kind of emulate what he did. This is a guy who strictly did what he was supposed to do as a governor, and now he worked with the deputy who happened to be a class representative. Then according to our Tumsa constitution, it gives a mandate to a deputy governor to be in charge of academics in separate campus. So that was a perfect combination, and I can give him a credit for that. Yeah.
And okay, thank you for that. Having cited that TUM Kwale campus is a satellite campus for TUM main campus, I really want to understand, what is your role as a satellite governor when it comes to the main campus? What role do you have? Any role to play in the main campus?
To be fair enough, I coordinate. I link my campus. You know, I bargain for my campus, and I represent the views of our campus in our union as a council. You see, so for example, let me begin with the Tumsa Congress. According to our constitution, we have dockets or other dockets in that Congress. We have academic docket, which the deputy governor, a satellite campus deputy governor, is supposed to be part of that team. You see, a governor is part of the finance, you know, committee. There is a committee of finance committee in that house, and I'm part of that committee. You see, so when we have a budget, more so when you have events and a lot of activities that, you know, are funded by Tumsa, I'm supposed to bring my budget and, you know, table it and defend it and, you know, get approved by that cabinet. And I'm supposed to be there in person, you know, looking and making sure that what is allocated to our campus, we get it right. And when it comes to bursary is actually delegated to special needs and agenda docket. But equally we have a committee, you see. They're in charge of, you know, to ensure that strictly those students who have, you know, fee problems, they get all this, you know, that aid of bursary. So I equally oversee that process, and I make sure that there is no faulting. And one thing I want to tell you, and I want to assure you, I don't do discrimination. I've never favored a friend when it comes to you know, circumstances or situations where it's supposed to issue bursaries. I make sure that I clearly issue bursary through the intervention of faculty representatives in that you know, special committee, and we give students who deserves. So that is what I do in Congress. Okay. Now let me bring it back to the council.
Yeah.
Most of the decisions that are you know, made equally in both Congress and council, they concur. But the council has got a final say. I'm a signatory. I'm a signatory, not that we access the funds of students, but I have a right to sign. In an event, I conduct event, be it a freshers night or a campus night or even a cultural week, and the issues, audit queries and stuff, I'm answerable, you see. I have to do a report. So that is what I've been doing for since I took my the oath of office on 16th February 2021, and up to date. I think I oversee, I'm part of that council perfectly, and I have to make sure that fairly twice a month, at least twice a month, I'm in Mombasa to make sure that my campus, you know, I bring forth the issues and any other thing that is concerning my campus to the union, and that applies in any other docket.
Thank you. And you know, you have stated clearly the roles that you've been playing as far as linking the satellite campus for Kwale is concerned with the main campus. But I want you to take me through your journey serving as a governor for 2 terms. What are some of the challenges as a leader? Because I understand there are quite some challenges that you may have gone through. What are they, and how have you overcome these challenges?
To be fair enough, I wouldn't lie that I've been the best. But I think amidst all those challenges, for example, I want to point out one of the most challenging time that I've ever had as a governor. When I came to the office, when I took the oath of office, I was asked by the vice chancellor that, are you aware that students are no longer staying at Konamsa? You remember one thing, when I was in first year or second year, we used to commute to school back and forth, using school bus. And by the time I was getting to third year, there was a construction that was ongoing in our campus, and now the hostels were set for habitation. And I get in the office. I get to this office, and now we don't have the bus. And at the same time, the director of the campus was also, his term had come to an end. You serve for 2 years, then you renew your contract. Now it's been there for 5 years. You see, that is a +1. So I meet a different person, a different director to be specific, somebody who has not been there before. You see, he doesn't know that it was more easy for us to attend classes now that we used to commute using bus, and there is no clear notice issued by the institution as to whether we will have the bus services retained. They'll consider other rental places, because we understand the institution had rented a place. We never got a clear information as to whether we'll get our bus or what have you. So I think that was actually the most challenging times, and we had numbers, you see. Now it was a tough decision that I had to make, because look, convincing a student, most so somebody who was going to 4th year, who has been there for 3 years, commuting to school daily, to and back, using bus, and all of a sudden you tell them that you'll no longer have the bus services. You see, it was very challenging, and I wouldn't lie, it would be very painful when you see people walk to school. Somebody would walk to school and back, a 8-kilometer stretch. You see, that was actually the most challenging issue. And when people came to terms with the reality that the change is something that is permanent, something that is inevitable, they decided, let us come to terms with this reality. Let us start staying in hostel. If you feel your pocket can accommodate you as a student to be commuting to Konamusa and back, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was actually the most challenging time I had. Then when you got to July, that was actually the number 2nd challenging time I had. When you go to July, we conducted an event. You see, the performance of a satellite campus, governor, I'll state clearly, solely depends with the allocations that comes from Mombasa. And majority of students are not, on the know-how. Somebody would feel this person is maybe carrying such particular amount of money, yet what you are carrying may be even not eat a quarter of what they are talking about, you see.
Yeah.
So when we got allocation, and it wasn't enough for the event that I was going to conduct, and even the timing, I got facilitated a day to event, you see. So when my bookings and so many other things that I prepared to put in place had already been occupied, you see. So I had a lot of time to reshuffle the whole thing so that I planned afresh, and it wasn't easy. I was planning on a morning when the event was supposed to be at night, and it was an event that involved a lot of activities, be it modeling and many activities, and we had guests, you see. So that was actually the trickiest part I ever had. So event wasn't successful. That is something I knew, and it had a lot of issues, and even the police was involved, the student security, the tomb security was involved. It was a big thing, and actually it was one of the biggest thing, and it tainted kind of my image. But now that I'm a politician, I think I worked my way out.
How did you overcome it?
Look, I work in a union. I share a satellite campus. So when we make a decision, I am at the center. For example, when I've signed a check that this is what we've been given by the university, the union or the council, approved in the finance committee and tabled before the council, and this is what we are going to get. now that I've signed, I take part and parcel of the whole thing. So look, after that event, I Dean came to Kwale, you know, just to clear there as to what amount of money Kwale were allocated for, you see. Dean came, met all students, and I thank God Dean cleared there. It was a thorough weekend, it was a proper one. And I spent a night in a police custody, me and my sports secretary, and because nobody was willing to listen, when students get rogue, you know what it takes. So I spent a night at police custody, and when Dean came, at least in some sense, you know, it got some sense to people's mind, you see. So from there, at least some people were satisfied, but some quite good number wasn't satisfied. But I said, okay, because I've dreamt about leading this campus for 2 years, since the day I was sworn in on 16th of February 2021, I had to do my second kick. Yeah, I decided it wouldn't affect my political dream whatsoever, and that is why I vied for the second time, and luckily I won. Yeah.
Quite interesting, and it is interesting that there are challenges that you have gone through, and you've worked at your best to overcome them. But even as you've served as the governor for the 2 terms, two main campus has had 2 different governments. That means you've served in 2 different governments of the main campus.
Yeah.
I really want to understand how you managed to transit from one government. What kind of relationship did you have, and how did you just manage to beat all the odds? Because I understand there was so much political heat. The heat was so much high. How did you transit from this government that you've been serving under as the governor to the next government that came in, and you still served with them as the governor?
First of all, I know one thing I want to tell you, and I want to confirm to you, Nalwa, that it has never been easy, you see. But all these people, so precisely all these people, for example, the first president I served under, the Jacqueline Musangia, this is somebody who was admitted, you know, in Kwale campus. I was pursuing bachelors of, you know, science, marine resource management, you see. And this is somebody who knew each other before. So we had you know, a good working relationship before. Even in politics, before he took over as a TUMSA chair. So, and now being, even the community factor, now being my classmate, you see, made it even more easy for me to, you know, navigate and work with them so perfectly. And eventually when I got to last year's politics, you know, there was an intense politics as to, you know, which alliance are you supporting.
Yeah.
Now that I wasn't sure as to which government was I going to form, you know, work with. Now that we had the TDA and we had the Action Alliance. TDA was the Democrats, you see.
Yeah.
Then we had the Liberal. I decided to back off, you see. I took a break and I said, okay, cool, I'll work on my candidates as a person because I want to lead my campus. I'll invest my energy, my finances, resources and stuff in my candidature. But I'll breathe, and you people, you do your politics. Once we get over, we'll work together. And when elections were approaching, to be fair enough, they decided to give me alliance. You know, you cannot tell us that you don't have alliance, so they decided to give me an alliance. They branded me, TLA, the Liberal Alliance. That was quite interesting. They had a lot of reasons as to why they could do that, you see. One, they said you are a Luo, you see. And now that the Liberal Alliance was getting the support of the...
Who is that? Who is that?
Who branded me?
Yeah.
It was a joint force as you know, from either the TDM or the TAR.
Okay.
It was evident because one, they knew the good chemistry I had with the then president. He was my friend, you see, and even the quality factor binded us together. So they were feeling like, you cannot tell us that you're not in this politics. You've not taken side. Yet you are a friend to the government, and the government is supporting Liberal. So I decided to keep off from Mombasa. I wasn't coming to Mombasa during politics. I was at my place. and we were contesting for a few, few delegates. If you get two, you win. It was only 3 delegates. If you get two, you win. So it wasn't so vigorous like what we used to have before. So I was affiliated to Liberal, and at one point, I decided to come out clean and say that, okay, cool, if that is what you feel, let it be. But now I'm working with the parallel team. Liberal lost and Action Alliance won. Action Alliance got 1 vote from Kwale, and the delegate who voted Action Alliance apparently did not vote me. I was voted for by 2 delegates who voted for Liberal Alliance. You see, but the president or the president, or rather the current chairperson, was my friend. I've been in this political space for quite a long time, and even the current sitting SG has been my friend for a long time. So you see, I took the initiative of bringing them on board, and we had a conversation. You see, I told them that, okay, cool, this is what we have now. Politics is behind us. It happens both in campus politics and even the national politics. That is what I did. We sat together, took a bottle of soda, and we had a conversation, and that was actually the best thing I think I could ever do, and I did it, and it has fueled my leadership up to date. I want to tell you and I want to promise you that whatsoever, regardless of the political status we had then, I've worked perfectly with Action Alliance, and I don't regret working with them.
Kiongozi, we've had a quite meaningful conversation, and I believe we should be moving towards the end of this. But I want to understand, what has been the role of your family all through your political career?
Thank you. I come from a family where a lot of people do not embrace politics, and when you mention politics on our table, then some people will go silent. You see, so but I took the initiative because my leadership has not started in campus. This is something that has followed me since my childhood. So when I decided to join politics, it was tough to unveil my intentions to my family, and I was in school after listening to people, because I joined politics in 1.1. We started planning politics, and even if I was part of the people who formed the narrates government, I was on the background, but I was part of the team. You see, from Kwale. When I decided that, okay, cool, I feel it's my turn, and I'm getting massive support from my class, because I was actually eyeing for that class endorsement, I decided to travel back home. I ambushed them. I just woke up one day and I felt like, okay, let me travel home tonight. Let me go meet my family, and let me tell them what I'm here to do, because politics has got consequences. What if something happens on the way when nobody or absolutely everybody in your family is in the darkness? So I decided to take that initiative. I traveled home. I met my family, my mom, my siblings, and everybody. We had a conversation, and I told them that this is what is ahead of me, and I want to try it out. Now, first of all, it wasn't easy, them, coming to terms with this reality that now Kevin is now getting into campus politics, because campus politics, the way people perceive it. I had to persuade them for a very long time, but persuading them wasn't because they are not willing to support me, both morally and even material support. They were really willing, but they were looking at me as a person. Maybe they thought I could be engaging myself in something else, but I told them one step at a time. As per now, this is what I want to focus on, and eventually I told them, take your time. I did that when I was in first year, second semester, you see, and I applied when I was in second year, semester 2, you see. So that was a lot of time. So my family has been part and parcel of my, my campaigns and my political life. I wouldn't focus much on finance, because it has never been a problem. But one thing I'll tell you, the moral support is very key when it comes to trying a different space. So my family, they do put me in prayers. They do facilitate morally. They you coach me up. And I think that is very key. moral support is very key more than any other thing. So I thank them for that, and that is something, a conversation that we keep on talking each and every day, and I don't regret having that family here.
Okay. Would you probably be thinking of holding any other position? Are you thinking of what is in your head in terms of politics at the moment? Are you thinking of vying for any position?
Beyond campus politics, I feel I want to take a break, you see. I want to take a break because I believe I do one thing one step at a time, you know. That principle has worked for me, you know. And most of people, and most of the guys who have known me in TUM, they don't know much about me and my history and my leadership history or any other thing that maybe I'm doing besides politics. But if you know me so closely, you'll get to understand that this is actually not the first big thing I'm doing. The first interview that I got in when I was when I was fairly 14 years, I remember I got into an interview in relation to leadership anyway. And I think that was actually the biggest space that I ever stepped on. I think in hierarchy of the biggest spaces I've ever had, this comes the third, you see. My 2-year leadership comes the third. So I have so many other things that means much to me. But one thing I want to tell you, I believe that we can build each other. I have a couple of friends who believe in me, they believe in my politics, and they believe on my plans and strategy, you see. So when I meet them and we engage, and they tell me that they have a political, you know, interest as soon as 2027. When, you know, at 2027, we'll see, I feel I'll be fairly young still. They tell me they have intentions in 2027, and I look at my calendar and my plans. I feel like, let us sit down and support these people so that they rise, so that when I get back in 2030 and lay a strong foundation as to which position I'll be going for, be it at county level or whatsoever, I'll be having a very big team, and my generation will be willing to support me. And I think that is what I have on table. Come 2030, God willing, I'll bring you on board and tell you that, Nalwa, I need your support.
And I believe that dream will come true.
Yes,
but I want you to advise that student who is in Kwale campus or even TUM and is wishing to get to where you've gotten. That student who wants to venture into politics, what will you tell him or her?
To anybody who is interested in leadership, most of the famous TUMSA leadership, be it, you know, as the lowest level as being a class representative. First of all, I want to tell you this. First of all, get to believe in yourself, get to build a brand of yourself, be confident enough, and, you know, believe that your dreams are achievable. I think if you believe in yourself, then automatically you'll get a team that will believe in you, and that will be your wave, and that will be your brand, and you'll succeed in getting in this position or even a bigger space than where I am. And I think that is key and paramount in as far as, you know, climbing into leadership position is concerned. Yeah.
I want to wind the conversation, but if I gave you an opportunity to make a farewell statement, because students have trusted in you for 2 terms, they have elected you as their governor, and from what you've said, it's like you have finished your business as far as leadership is concerned with them.
Yeah. Sure.
And you're going to take a break.
Sure.
So as you leave them, what will be your farewell statement? What will you tell students and the entire Technical University of Mombasa fraternity?
Thank you. To all Technical University of Mombasa students and the Student Association, I want to give you my 2 cents in as far as university leadership is concerned. One, when it comes to leadership, assess the person. I want to advise you that when it comes to leadership, believe in somebody because of their capabilities. Never believe in somebody because they're your tribesmate or they're your classmate or whatsoever. Look at the person who is, you know, eyeing for that position. Look, make sure that you assess them gauge whether these people are after, you know, self-interest, or these people are, you know, after the interest of the general public. And once you've assessed that, now you can make a decision, and that decision will really matter a lot when it comes to the future of your campus, be it satellite, be it Lamu, be it Kwale, or be it the two men, because it's a group of 11 people, that is 3 from Kwale and 8 in main campus, and equally 3 from Lamu, 14, that are running a council, and the decision that they make is generated to the 20,000 plus students that are in TUM. So before you make a decision, assess the person and make sure that they're fit for that position. And even to my campus, even as I live, now that there are a lot of politics around, assess the candidates. You know, they might be of different personality, they might have come from different community, but assess the capability and the personality of the person and see whether they, him or themselves fit to be in that position, you see. Once you make that, then you can decide whether to vote them in or not. I think that is fair enough.
Thank you so much, Kiongozi,
Thank you
for
so
getting
much.
time to share your story.
Yeah.
And from a personal level, I'm wishing you all the very best, even as you decide to take a break. But I understand from the story that you've shared, it is something that is in yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm wishing you the best. And just as you've said, I hope that I will get to sit down with you again at another level. Maybe you are in a different leadership position to share about your experience and share about your level.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.